Hi everyone, I'm Trev from Coiltek, and today I'm going to have a bit of a chat with Guy, the Gold Rush guy. So hi Guy, how are you?
G'day Trevor, how are you going?
Good mate, good. Thanks for joining me on this little show that we're going to put together. So with the new NOX series, you come across an area in high trash. You've talked about it a little bit already, but what would be your go-to coil with a very heavily trash area, lots of junk around?
Yeah, so what I would do, and I will always do this, is that you can still go with a larger coil because that will give you a lot of information about the area. Because one of the things is that the feedback you actually get from some of the bigger coils will tell you how wide the trash area is. But it also might, you might get a couple of iffy signals. You might dig them, and you might say, for example, you might find some older sort of bigger sort of horse buckles and things like that. So then you might think, well, that may give me a bit of an understanding of what that was. So if I'm at the back of the site, so a lot of sites may have stables and so forth, and they're typically at the back of houses and all that kind of stuff. So that may tell me that well, the trash up there at the front end may actually be the front end of the house, and that's probably where I want to concentrate a little bit more, where I'm going to get less sort of, if you like, agricultural finds, and more household finds, if that makes sense. And when we say household finds, we're basically things that people will drop, or things that in their day that they thought that might be trash or broken or something like that, but is quite a good relic for people to find in these days.
So basically you would take a 15 and then maybe run over with all three coils or more coils in those trashy areas. I mean, the 10 by 5 obviously being quite narrow.
Yeah. I think I probably wouldn't jump on the 14 by 9 there. So what I'd probably do is I'd go out with the 15 and get a really good idea of that area, and then where there's some bits and pieces that I think that might be relatively good, then I'd swap over to a smaller coil then. So yeah, the intermediate coils I think are more purpose for a site, rather than something where you're going to a much more broader site where it's more of an investigation, if you like.
With these three new coils, some people out there may have all three coils from the standard Mine Labs or just one. Why would you take another coil to an area where you've been before and think that's quite thrash? Why would you take another coil to that area and have another hunt there?
Yeah, well, I think I think, as we discussed, I mean, they are different. They are different coils. They're different sizes. They have different areas where you can actually add to the hunt. So as I said, the 10 by 5 by 6, very sensitive, gets into the smaller nooks and crannies and areas and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But again, you can do a little bit more of an area because you've got sort of 10 inches, and even the 14 by 9, you can still do it like a 14 inches is a big lateral area, so you can do some big areas. Can actually get some really good sensitivity and separation.
So Guy, you've been using the coils for a little bit. Have you got any coins and finds that you've found with the coils over the testing period, and any other comments in that regards?
Yes. I've got some really interesting finds. So obviously a lot of the pre-decimal coins, so you can probably see there's some of the pennies,
they're all copper, pennies. Is that right?
Yeah, they're all copper. They usually come in probably somewhere between about 23 and sort of 27 on the Equinox. Plenty of sort of some of our pre-decimal silver coins.
Silver. What numbers do they come up with the silver?
Well, it just it depends, because our pre-decimal coins are either 92.5, which that Ramshead shilling there is. So that's a pre-1946. So they usually come up a bit higher than the 50% one. So these can come up to as high as sort of 28, even up to about 30 on the Equinox. And probably one of the good finds that I've got. I'm not sure if you can see that. There's a little kangaroo there. So this is actually a copper ring that was actually had gold gilding over it, and you won't be able to see, but in here where I was looking for a hallmark, it actually says Ballarat.
Wow.
which is one of the big gold rush towns, and a big town already in Victoria. So that was a great find. So I might actually take
What did
that
you
to
get
a
that one with?
jeweler's. Got that with a 14x9 in a park. So yeah, hit it really, really well. So
Excellent.
I think that came up about a 22, 23.
Yeah.
So I think at the time I thought it might have been a $1 or $2 coin, but had a good depth to it as well. That's probably about 6 to 8 inches.
Fantastic. So the coils really are, starting to prove their worth, as another option on the Equinox.
Oh, look, most definitely. And the thing is that there's so many places, and if you do your research, and you spend some time with the machine. So one of the things that I always suggest, as soon as you do get a machine, is grab all your coins out, go into the backyard. Don't necessarily have to dig up holes to aggravate the misses, but even just to get an idea of what they sound like, you put them on the side too, because that's the other thing that some of them you can get little changes in sort of signals as well when they're sitting on the side. But I think it actually there's one of the strengths of using the multi-frequency in the Equinox that is quite good at actually picking up coins even when they're sitting on the side and giving you a good sort of response as well.
Well, thanks, Guy, the Gold Rush guy. We really do appreciate you giving us a little bit of insight on how you found the new NOX coils from Coiltek, and we do appreciate you spending some time with them over the last few months, and looking forward to some extra finds that you can hopefully dig up over the coming months too. And so hit us up through Facebook or through the Coiltek webpage if you need to get any more information about these NOX coils. Check out all the other videos that we've done on these ones. There's some really good content out there, and as these coils get released and get out into the market, I'm sure there'll be some excellent finds out there. Thanks again, Guy. We really appreciate it, and have a great evening.
No problem. Have a great time. Cheers.